Hey guys, this is Jay Calderon with 12rounder.com here to give you the quick picks for this weekend's upcoming fights. We got a pretty busy schedule. On the 24th in Australia, we have heavyweight action featuring hometown fighter Alex Leapai taking on Leapai-Scott. You have, on the one hand, Leapai-Scott, a guy who seems like a more skilled fighter, of course, but you have Leapai, who seems like a more legitimate fighter in certain ways. He behaves like a fighter. The question then becomes, which is going to matter more on the night in this case? Is the guy with the skill going to have enough skill to overcome the guy with more will to be a fighter, perhaps? In the end, I think location is most important in this fight. I believe even if Scott keeps it close, boxes well, he could potentially stop Leapai. Leapai could potentially stop him, but I think in any case, if Scott intends to win a decision in this fight, he's going to have to do so against an Aussie in Australia. And I don't necessarily see that occurring, if I'm being totally honest. So, I think Leapai is also aggressive enough and come forward enough as a fighter, if you will, that in the end, he'll be able to get a decision and potentially could stop a very temperamental Leapai-Scott in the process of getting that decision. So that would be the pick. Again, it's a very difficult fight. It's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen, but it's a difficult fight to go on if you look at a guy who's limited and then another guy who doesn't always behave like a fighter. Then the next day, on Saturday the 25th, we have some action in Monaco, which features middleweight contender Martin Murray taking on Domenico Spada. I have Murray winning a unanimous decision there. I think he's perhaps complacent at times, but that being said, with so much and so many big fights on the line, I think he puts in a decent performance, wins a unanimous decision. On the undercard there, I have Randy Caballero taking on and defeating Stewie Hall, possibly stopping him in the middle of that fight. If not, I still have him winning a comfortable decision. I think he's a good fighter, an interesting fighter. I've been looking at him as he's come up in the game, and I do believe in his skill. Hall obviously has a punch. He's obviously can take a punch, and he's obviously a skilled fighter in his own right. But I got Caballero winning that one. Then we go to Liverpool, where I have Paul Butler taking on and defeating Ismail Garnica. I have then in Hull, Luke Campbell perhaps struggling with, but ultimately beating Bruzuela, that being Daniel Bruzuela. And if you want my broken down sort of opinion on Tommy Coyle versus Michael Katsidis, you can check out the pick'em below in the description. Just click the link. But short end of it, I do believe Tommy Coyle wins, possibly stopping him on cuts. But again, Katsidis is a brave guy, and as long as he can keep himself in it, he always has a puncher's chance. Those are the picks. Not a lot of truly pick'em style fights this week per se. But with maybe the exception of that Leapai-Scott fight, as I mentioned. But that being said, love to hear your take on it. Who do you think wins? And more importantly, because again, these aren't the toughest fights in the world, more importantly, how do you think they're going to win? Tell me in the comments below, of course, and on Twitter at 12rounderboxing. Be sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Love to hear from you. And until next time, enjoy the fights.